Noswaith ar pawb. We've all been asked to make enormous sacrifices to protect our NHS and to save lives. Over the last few months, we have missed birthdays, we've missed hugging our loved ones. Grandchildren have longed to see their nines and tides. And heartbreakingly, many of us have not been able to care for our loved ones who are in hospital or care homes. I'm hugely proud of how communities across the island have come together to confront this virus. Although recent months have been shrouded in fear, shock and hardship, Ynys has been a beacon of kindness and compassion, with countless examples of individuals, community groups and businesses working tirelessly to ensure that the most vulnerable are protected and cared for. We cannot let up now. We all still have a part to play in defeating this invisible yet deadly enemy. Over recent days, I've been contacted by hundreds of residents on the issue of Dominic Cummings' actions. I take my role in representing the constituency very seriously, and I have made sure that the views of residents from across Ynys have been heard by senior members of the government and the Prime Minister. As your MP, I believe you are entitled to hear my views on the issue. Before I made a statement, as you would expect from your Member of Parliament, I believed it was important that I had heard the facts, and I will be releasing my considered statement shortly. However, following on from the Kindness Matters message that I took huge pride in promoting last week during Mental Health Awareness Week, and as a PPS in the Department for Health, I believe that it is crucial that I first share with you my thoughts on bullying and on intimidation. I'm appalled by the grotesque scenes of harassment and intimidation that we've witnessed taking place, and that continues to take place outside the home of Dominic Cummings. On Sunday, for several hours, a van positioned opposite his home, playing on repeat a video featuring the tragic death of a young child. Everyone present at that time knew that he was in Downing Street. I can only imagine how frightening and distressing this would have been for his wife and young child. Mobs of photographers and reporters permanently stationed outside his home to report accusations that he's flouted public health guidance, openly flouting social distancing during their pursuit of him. And this, sadly, follows many months of harassment and critical comment both in person and online. Whatever our individual opinion of Dominic Cummings, it is not right that he, or indeed anybody, any public figure or not, should be targeted with threats of violence, even death, and be subjected to an orchestrated campaign of harassment towards their young family at their home. I do not know Mr. Cummings, but I've been asking myself how would I react if I was faced with a similar situation. It is, in my view, completely unacceptable to be on the receiving end of violent threats. Sadly, he has been confronted with this behaviour for many months, and I do believe having to endure such harassment has played a part in leading him to make the decisions that he has made. My focus remains, as it has been throughout this crisis, on supporting local people, local families and businesses across Ynys Môn. Although the number of cases across North Wales is continuing to rise, recovery is on the horizon. However, so too is the prospect of a very severe recession. It is crucial that we find a balance between safeguarding public health and working towards a safe economic recovery. I'm working to ensure that our local tourism and hospitality sector, a sector so crucial to our local economy, receives the support that it needs to both reopen safely and to thrive. I've been having weekly meetings with the Anglesey Tourism Association and with businesses across the island. Last week I held meetings with Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor, and with Nigel Huddleston, the Tourism Minister, to feedback issues that have been raised with me and to discuss how the government can better support local tourism as we emerge from this crisis. Tourism and hospitality businesses on the island have been impacted with particular severity, and yet, in the face of huge adversity, many cafes and restaurants have employed their facilities to provide crucial services and to help shield the most vulnerable people in our communities. We should all be hugely proud of the way so many organisations have united against this pandemic. And once this crisis abates, we must all unite to support the businesses that gave so much in times of such hardship. The reality of this crisis is simple. The situation in which we now find ourselves is unprecedented in modern times. Any government would do its best to cope with the threat posed by an unknown and unseen enemy. Together, we are making tremendous progress in defeating COVID-19. The central aim of the lockdown is being accomplished, to prevent our NHS from being overwhelmed, as so tragically happened to health services in other European countries. Many of you have had to endure unparalleled uncertainty and worry about your livelihoods, your businesses, your families and your friends. I hope the UK's government's unprecedented packages of financial support, the most generous and far-reaching support in the world, will have provided help and reassurance. I'm fighting to ensure that this support continues for as long as possible. And of course, I know that all the administrations of the UK and indeed around the world have much to learn about how to confront this virus and that mistakes have been made. But I'm reminded of what Winston Churchill said 80 years ago, shortly after Dunkirk, in the middle of his finest hour speech. If we open a quarrel between the past and the present, we shall find that we have lost the future. For us, that future is what really matters. I, along with everyone in government, are working to ensure that the normality that we all crave is a part of our future as quickly and as safely as possible.